just ahead of tomorrow's match, Jamie McLaren, do you get him back for this game?
Yes. He'll be back in our squad for tomorrow. Whether he's ready to play or not, that's a different story, but he'll be back in our squad.
I guess just we obviously saw him just come off the bench last night. I mean, how are you feeling about how he got used last night? It was only, I guess, a bit of a cameo for him, but obviously
At the end of the day, it's not my decision. He's out of my control then, so he came on for, it was 5 minutes. Again, it's out of my control. I don't control that space, so that's all I can say, really.
I guess heading into this game tomorrow, provided he pulls up fit, you feel like he is potentially in a position to start. That's a pretty handy inclusion for a decent sized game. Yeah,
again, we need to see how he is. But by all accounts, he's okay. So again, we'll make sort of that decision tomorrow. But I spoke to him last night, and he's doing well.
I guess just to bounce off that, how has everyone else pulled up, PK? Midweek game, obviously had to really guts it out for that victory. Has everyone pulled through okay?
Yeah, so far, we'll train now this morning, see how everyone goes, and, we'll sort of make our decision, closer to tomorrow. But, everyone is okay at the moment.
Someone else jump in.
Hey, PK. Just speaking about Jamie there was obviously quite a lot of stick on the coverage last night about him personally, like going off for his wedding and stuff. Like, you work with a guy every day. It feels like that attack might have been a bit unfair on a guy you care about, and his integrity was questioned for that, and he did his best. What was your take on that?
Well, I think it's definitely unfair. His wedding's actually next week. It wasn't yesterday. It wasn't the day before. It's actually next week. So to have a go at someone whose wedding is next week about a result of last night where he got 5 minutes, I think there's big issues. I think you need to ask yourself different questions than that. If that's what you're going on a result of, or, showing his commitment. He got called in. He's there. He gets married next week. Not, again, I'll repeat, next week. End of the day, the selectors that picked him, if they didn't like what he said, don't choose him then.
Yeah, I agree with you, PK. I mean, it's just like when he's given 5 minutes, it seems surprising you'd only give a guy who's in such good form just 5 minutes when you're not going to use him next week, right? And then to have that.
The thing is, again, I think before people start commenting and pointing fingers, I think they need to actually understand the facts and what's real important, not about someone which is next week, not yesterday, not today, not 2 days later. And yeah, like you said, again, I don't make decisions. You always want your country to do well. So yeah, look, we're disappointed with the result. We want Australia to do well. We want Australia to qualify. We still have a chance. Let's not say we don't. We still have a chance. But for what was said about his wedding, they need to, I think they need to sort of blame or have a go at someone, which is for me absolutely totally irrelevant. It's actually irrelevant to the game. Yep. It's actually irrelevant to the circumstance. He got called upon. He was there when needed. He played the minutes that he did, and that was it.
PK, you obviously care a lot about the game in this country and represent it with honour. Like, there seems to be a lot of soul searching this morning. People trying to work out where it's gone wrong in this qualification campaign, or even the state of the game. Like, where do you see the biggest issues are at the moment? Because right through the game, from top to bottom, it's like the same conversations, right?
I think there's a lot of valid points that a few people have said that I've heard. Obviously, we need we need to be funded. I think we're not funded enough. I think, maybe our sort of curriculum needs to change. I think we sort of fight amongst each other instead of trying to push the game forward. Like we're fighting our own battles where I thought we were one. The perfect example that I've got at the top of my head, we had Eric Mumbatz here 2 years ago, who set up the Clairefontaine, and not one person from Australia or the FA rang him to ask him what he thinks or any advice. That's the best. That's the guy that's worked with the best players in the world. For me, that's ignorance. That's not wanting to get better. But again, I'm not in a position of power. I'm not in a position that I don't do those things. I'm just sort of giving my opinion. But we've got to learn from this, and hopefully we can.
Thank you, mate. I'll pass on. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Any more from you, Anna or Marco? Do you have anything, or are we all good, guys?
I'll let Marco jump in if he's got something there before I jump in again.
Patrick, so Paddy, did you always know that you were going to have Jamie available for this weekend? Was that always the plan?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Again, it was discussed. Again, because Jamie's getting married next week, so when obviously he got called up, he spoke to the powers that be within the Australian team, and they were fine with that.
And mate, just one more. I know they were just talking about the stick that Jamie was copying. What about the criticism of Melbourne City? Are you unhappy with that?
Of course. Why are we getting criticised for letting our players go? We actually did the right thing. But again, if they want to criticise. Look, everyone's entitled to an opinion, but for me, I worry about my squad and the players and how we move forward. But again, maybe people need to have a look at themselves first before they start pointing fingers, because in the day, I don't know actually what the club have done wrong. And in saying that, because you asked me a question about, I remember you, I definitely remember your name, about if it was me, how I denied Curtis, and I didn't. It was the rule. And also in that, we allowed Curtis to go if they could rearrange the fixture, because then we'll have 5 internationals gone. And as a rule, that if you have 5 internationals gone, you must rearrange the game. So that was unable to happen as well. But I definitely remember your name.
Yeah. I asked a question the other night.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I know that you said about the club. It was the rules that were like denying him. But is it like, would you you can ignore those rules, can't you, and say, mate, you can go and play for Australia?
Yeah, we did. We said that. And
to Curtis?
Yes, we did. So we said that. But obviously, by letting him go with 5 players gone out of your squad, then you have a chance to change a fixture, because under international law, if you have 5 or more players, you need to change the fixture because you can't play. Correct? So we did offer that. Yeah, but there was no chance to move the game. That was not by us.
All right, mate. No worries. Thanks.
Was that a league decision then, PK? Or are you saying, or was it a...
Yeah, of course. Whoever does the fixtures. We allowed Curtis to go on the proviso that if they could change the game, because, again, we'd have 5 players gone.
So the league said you were able to change that one.
Correct. I can appreciate, when someone says that I denied someone at all. I think that's a bit personal.
Just on Jamie again briefly, PK, do you think a lot of people haven't understand the context around him? Like, I know doing presses with him or with you, he's changed his wedding, I think it's 3 times. He's And we're
I
getting
think,
in
again,
the
I think there's a
international
bigger
break.
picture. Yeah, I think that the bigger picture is, how can we get better as a football country? Like, it's not about a wedding. End of the day, it's a game. We played a game. It's not about Jamie, having a wedding next week. He didn't leave actually during the game. He didn't say no to playing against Japan. He brought it forward to the hierarchy of the national team, which allowed that. So I don't understand. End of the day, the bigger question is, how can we get better as a footballing nation? How can we improve our national team? It's got nothing to do with the wedding. It's got nothing to do with Melbourne City. It's got nothing to do with saying no to a player, which is a rule. It's got nothing to do that with at all. It's how can we get better as a country, as a football, and get our football better. And we always go back to it. If it's such a problem, again, with all these players, what fixes everything is having international break. So maybe they need to speak to the people that decide that.